An exercise that really hits the hamstrings and the glutes that I didn't include in Squat Rex 3 but certainly could have are pull-throughs. You'll do this with a low cable pulley attachment or jump stretch bands. You're going to face away from the anchor point. You're going to hold the handle and you're going to step forward. From here, you're just going to simply pull the weight through, engaging the hips throughout and keeping the weight on your heels. You're really going to have to lean forward in order to engage the hips and to maintain balance throughout the movement. Pull-throughs. Russian hockey deadlifts are an unusual exercise. It's like a deadlift with a bit of a twist to it. Because of this, a lot of PTs, probably sports medicine doctors, would probably recommend against doing it. You really want to start light with this exercise, and it's meant to be done slow and in control. Consider it a form of chaos training. You'll start with the weight center. You're going to lower down the weight to one heel and then come back up. Lower to the other heel, come back up. It's crucial that you keep the core as tight as possible throughout this movement. It's not intended to be a fast, powerful movement. Suitcase deadlifts are an excellent exercise for the core. Like the name suggests, you're going to be doing a deadlift as if you are holding a suitcase. You can use a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or a barbell for this exercise. You'll come down as if you were coming down for a deadlift, and then stand up. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to allow your body to go off to the side as if you were doing side bends. You want to stay solid throughout this exercise. As you raise and as you lower, you want to keep your shoulders square. Suitcase deadlift. Windmills are an excellent core exercise. You can use a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or if you really want to challenge yourself, a barbell. You're going to start with windmills by getting the weight overhead. You're going to have the feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and they are going to be pointing in the direction opposite of the hand that's holding the weight. You're going to keep your eye on the weight the entire time. You're going to keep this back leg straight, the front leg is going to be slightly bent, and you're going to kick your hips out in the direction of the kettlebell. You want to keep your core as tight as possible throughout this movement. I'm going to lower myself down almost like a good morning to the bottom of the movement. I'm going to stay totally tight, and from here I'm going to extend back up. It's an exercise for the core, the glutes, the hamstrings, and for shoulder stability. Start light. A fantastic exercise for core strength and overall body coordination are get-ups. There are a lot of variations of the get-up. The simplest version is just simply to lay back on your back, holding a weight at your chest, and standing up with it. I'm going to use a kettlebell today to show you get-up and a variation called the Turkish get-up. So, start with a weight on your chest, probably holding it either in a bear hug or crush grip. From here, you're just going to sit up, into a lunge, stand up. And come down, you're going to come back in just the opposite direction, and down. That's a get-up. A variation of that is called the Turkish get-up. And you'll a variation of the get-up is the Turkish get-up. The difference between a get-up and the Turkish get-up is that with the Turkish get-up, you're going to be holding the weight in front and above you throughout the entire movement. You want to be very careful with this exercise. If you lose the weight, you want to get out of the way. This exercise, you're going to start with the weight close to your chest. From here, we're going to press the kettlebell out. We're going to plant the foot that corresponds with the weight. We're going to roll to the side, and we're going to plant that opposite elbow. From here, we are going to bring our opposite foot through underneath that leg while maintaining this posture. We're going to straighten up, and then we're going to lunge to the top. From here, we're going to be doing the opposite. Come down into a lunge, lean back, bring that leg through, down to the elbow, down to the floor, and down to the chest. I wanted you to be able to see that movement, Suitcase get-ups, one more time from the opposite view. Again, I'm going to press. I'm going to plant that foot. I'm going to roll to the side and up. Come up with the weight. From here, I'm going to swing this leg through. I'm going to square myself. Come up with the weight. Okay, from here I'm going to go in opposite sequence. Leg back. Come down. Swing my leg through. Come down to the elbow. Come down. Beautiful. Suitcase get-ups. Slides with the plate are an excellent exercise for knee stability, to work the adductors and the abductors, the hip extension and hip flexion. You can use a plate on a smooth surface. If you're on a rougher ground, it's going to add more friction, so you'll probably want to start pretty light. To work abduction, you're simply going to be pushing with the outside of the foot, like so. To work adduction, you're going to be pulling the weight towards you. Again, you want to start really light with this exercise, because if you're not ready for it, it can put quite a bit of stress in the adductors. I remember reading something from Alwyn Cosgrove in which he said he hated the term prehabilitation. His point was that in any good strength program, injury prevention would be a central component. Keep this in mind when you are designing training programs and when you are selecting exercises to perform in the gym.